frustration turn into elation as you turn your head to self-isolation decoration. Hello there, Phil here from Paint the Town Green, giving you some tips and suggestions of things you can be doing around the house while you're in self-isolation. So today I'm going to talk to you about these little discs of blown plaster that I've been asked dozens and dozens of times over the years by clients, what are they? So to fully understand them, I'll give you a very brief history of the wall. So back in the day, when the Victorians built houses, they used a system called lath and plaster to make walls and ceilings. These were tiny little strips of timber. They then put quite a coarse plaster over the top, and the gaps between these little strips of timber is what the plaster would grip to, and that's how walls were made. These days, that's been replaced by plasterboard. You may have seen sheets that become 8 foot by 4 foot sheets, and you get timber joists that are spaced out to make a stud wall or to make a ceiling, and then plasterboard is then screwed to those joists to create a wall. That's then skimmed with plaster, and that's the pink finish that you'll have seen. What happens is that the timber that the joists are made of will flex slightly, as timber does, due to moisture, temperature fluctuations, etc. When that flex happens, the screws or the nails that have been used to attach the plasterboard to it will move a tiny bit, and when that tiny bit of movement happens, the head of the nail or the screw will pop the plaster. So this is what we have here. The timber joist behind those obviously moves slightly, and we call them nail pops or screw head pops, and very common. A year, 12 months, 18 months after a refurbishment job has been done, we'll be called back to a property to fix dozens of these. So the way you get rid of them is, first of all, you have to take them out. It has to get worse before it gets better. So we remove the blown bit of plaster, and once we've done that, it becomes a very simple filling job. So I'm just going to put the edge of my filling knife in there, pop this out, and there you can just see the head of the screw. Okay, so this one wasn't that bad. It was just a very small undulation in the wall, but it's still noticeable. You get much worse ones where the whole disc comes out. Sometimes it's the size of so that's sort of a 20p coin, sometimes it's the size of a 50p coin, and sometimes they're even bigger than that, depending on how much plaster we've come and done. So now it's just a simple question of filling that with polyfiller as we've done before, sanding it down and painting it. Okay, so there we are. I've mixed up my filler. If you haven't seen it, there's a video that I've done previously in this series of self-isolation decoration tips that shows how to mix filler and how to use it. So I'm not spending any time explaining that on this one. If you do have a look back there, if you haven't seen that. So there we are. I'm going to leave that to dry. Meanwhile, as they used to say on Blue Peter, here's one I did earlier. So I'm going to show you how to then do the next bit on that one while that one dries. Okay, so I've got some 120 sandpaper. There's also a video I've done on sandpaper, different grades, etc. But this is perfect. This is on 120 sandpaper, so I'm just going to give this a really good sand. Okay, and you'll see now that pretty much replicates the shape that the other one had, but that's all beautifully smooth. And now we paint it. Okay, last bit. We've filled, we've sanded, and then we touch in. 2 top tips on this. First of all, as I mentioned on the video when I'm talking about filling, you always need to do 2 coats of paint over any filler, otherwise you'll see it coming through the paint. So what I'm doing now is called spot priming, where we just prime the spot where we need it. But I will almost definitely, if I do this twice with the brush, almost definitely be able to see this. When I look across the wall, I'll see where it's been touched in. So ideally you want to spot prime that and then paint the whole wall to get rid of it. Second tip, if you've had work done on your property and you start to notice these, you may have a clause in your contract with the builders. They'll come back and take care of it at a certain time. If you don't start trying to fix it straight away. Wait, because you're pretty sure that if you've got one somewhere on the wall, another one will appear. Usually takes about 12 to 18 months for it to completely settle down. So let all of them come, then put aside a weekend or whatever, go around, repeat this process on every single one, and then just repaint those walls where it's happened. Otherwise, you just end up doing it over and over and over again, and you'll lose the energy and the enthusiasm to repaint the wall. So let it be there, it'll bother you, but let it happen, leave it about 12 to 18 months, and then do the whole lot in one go.